So the Supreme Court shot down Trump's tariffs. Gavin Newsom's calling for Trump to refund all citizens like $1,700. He's trying to make it political. Well, I mean, obviously it is political, but he's trying to use it as a political football. So the White House came out yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, and said, effective immediately, all national security tariffs, Section 232 and existing Section 301 tariffs remain in place. So that's even after the Supreme Court shut that shit down. And in full force effect, today I will sign in an order to impose a 10% global tariff under Section 122 over and above our normal tariffs already being charged. Okay, so Trump's fucking doubling down on this shit, and this is pretty wild. We'll get into the Howard Lutnick aspect of this in a second, because that should piss everybody off. Howard Lutnick, that just miraculously wasn't there on 9/11. That guy, the guy that was neighbors and shared a common wall with Jeffrey Epstein. That guy, yeah. So let's listen to what Trump has to say here.
In order to protect, and it says so, in order to protect our country, a president can actually charge more tariffs than I was charging in the past period of a year under the various tariff authorities. So we can use other of the statutes, other of the tariff authorities, which have also been confirmed and are fully allowed. Therefore, effective immediately, all national security tariffs under Section 232 and existing Section 301 tariffs, they're existing, they're there, remain in place, fully in place, and in full force and effect. Today, I will sign an order to impose a 10% global tariff under Section 122 over and above our normal tariffs already being charged. And we're also initiating several Section 301 and other investigations to protect our country from unfair trading practices of other countries and companies. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And I say quite simply, which I've said for a long time, make America great again. And interestingly, we've already made it great, so I don't have to use that, but I don't think we'll ever give up on MAGA. MAGA is always going to be with us.
Trump sounds tired, man. And there he is on stage with his handler. I mean, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. Danger. Epstein's address was number 9, and Lutnick's address was number 11. Do with that information what you will. That's funny. Symbolism everywhere, isn't it? North side. Lutnick is stealing all the tariff money. Yeah, kind of. We'll get into that right now in a minute. Well, actually, no, right now. We'll get into that. So this is from Disclosed TV. New Howard Lutnick's son, Brandon and Kyle, now running Cantor Fitzgerald after Lutnick became Trump's Commerce Secretary, have been buying up rights to Trump-era tariff refunds at steep discounts, reportedly 20 to 30 cents on the dollar. That's from Wired Magazine. And the Real Patriot Voice did a really solid breakdown on this. So let me read what he has to say here. This is from the Real Patriot Voice, and I like this guy a lot because he's not like hardcore, cat turd, Laura Loomer, Trump could do no wrong. He's legit. So he says, here's the part you likely don't know about these tariffs and how is basically one huge insider trading Ponzi scheme for the Trump administration. Did you know Howard Lutnick's Cantor Fitzgerald firm bought rights to all tariff refunds in the amount of 20 to 30 cents on the dollar to every tariff dollar collected in 2025? It's obvious that Howard knew this was not going to fly with SCOTUS. To say this dude is a total sleazebag would be generous. As a result, Lutnick and his family are going to profit many millions, possibly even billions of dollars from this decision, should the government be forced to pay all the tariffs back. We're talking 3 to 5 times every $100 invested. I'm sure Trump and his family, I think it's a typo, are likely to see massive kickbacks as well. That's just speculation. The payback period will likely take around 5 years if implemented. On top of this, Trump just came out and said he's going to basically subvert the ruling from SCOTUS using the national security-based approach to tariff under Section 232 and under Section 122. That's what Trump just said, will impose an additional 10% global tariff on everything just because he is pissed off about the said decision. So you're kind of contradicting yourself there, because if he wanted kickbacks from Lutnick, the tariffs would have to be paid back, but he's doubling down. So he says, utter freaking insanity. This is actual dictator-esque behavior. It will only strain the economy even more, as the additional 10% will also be passed down to American consumers and manufacturers who can't afford to pay most bills as it is. I believe that is the point. I have said that tariffs will really accelerate the economic crash. So I don't know enough about the tariffs to have an opinion on whether they're good or bad. I mean, I haven't seen prices absolutely skyrocket on too many things. I mean, it's funny. The one thing I noticed is like the bottled Cokes that you get, you know, the glass bottle Coca-Cola that you get, they're like $5 a pop now. So those things are insane. So, but I haven't seen like a huge impact on my bottom line. I wonder if he planted that bottom line in my head, because he says the bottom line is we the people will always the ones who suffer. These tariffs are a huge burden and yet another added tax to our everyday lives. They aren't replacing income taxes like we were told. That is true. Clearly, that was another egregious lie to get us to sign onto the scam. This is yet another prime example showing the MAGA has been supremely suckered, and the Trump administration and the government couldn't give two shits about everyday struggling Americans. But just like every administration in the past only seeks to enrich itself and fellow billionaire oligarchs, it's literally Liberation Day for billionaires. Treason is what he says. Okay, I don't completely agree with him on all that stuff, but I mean, the Howard Lutnick aspect of this is just like, how is that not insider trading? How does this guy still have a job with lying about like, oh, I never hung out with that? You remember, you guys saw the video, the interview that he gave, where he said that he walked into Epstein's living room once with his wife next to him, and he had a massage table in the middle. And he asked Epstein, like, well, how often do you get a massage? And Epstein says, oh, I get one every day, and the good kind. And Lutnick says, oh, that creeped him out, and he left. And he said he was never going to talk to him again, and he never did talk to him again, just avoided him. And then it turns out, no, he actually went to the island with his wife and kids, and so he just lied in that interview. Danger. This guy clearly has no clue how tariffs work, but that is fine. Not a lot do. Hey, I mean, I don't really understand how tariffs work, because some of the stuff does get passed on to the consumer and some doesn't. You know, it's it's a complicated thing, and I like to think that I understand more about economics than the average person, but tariffs are like their own thing. It's like a black box. So I don't know enough to have like a strong opinion on tariffs. I've heard arguments either way on whether they're a good thing or a bad thing. So it depends on how they're being used too. If they're being used to leverage manufacturing to come back into America, that's a good thing. But you can overuse them to the point where things do skyrocket in price.